I'm happy to take any questions.
In the statement, you mentioned an organizational shift kind of leads to this. How would you describe what the shift is?
I just say that, we didn't make this decision in a vacuum. This is a, bigger picture decision, and it's not just about a coach. It's, Matt and I have spent, like I said, the last 10 days or so meeting with everyone from the chefs to talking to some of the players and everything in between, and just feel like there's some things that we need to, change and do better and be better. And certainly that starts with Matt and myself at the top, with Keith and the board, aligning on a vision and a path ahead.
How much did Austin's future impact this decision, if at all?
None. Zero.
What are some of those things that you feel like the organization can do better and that you'll be working towards?
Yeah, I think today is about the coaches, but I still haven't met with everybody fully, and not for lack of effort. But it's a big staff and a big team, and at the right time we should have that discussion, but not today.
Did you tell Craig at your meeting, or did you sleep on it before this decision?
Oh no, we had some discussions. We met in person. Yesterday we came to that conclusion, and I just say again, a lot of respect for him and everything he did, and out of that respect, felt like, when those decisions are made, it's better not to delay. We thought it was the right thing to do at the right time, and we made the decision.
What traits will you be looking for in the next coach?
I think respect for the process and the candidates. I don't want to get into that today. And it also always seems like then it means that Craig was missing something, which I don't think would be fair. But we'll have a thorough process. It'll be a wide search. We'll take our time, try to get it right. It's the most critical decision as a general manager.
You want the team to play regardless of who the coach is?
Yeah, I think that's a good discussion. I think regardless of who the coach is, we should have an organizational vision on how we play and the things we value, and then certainly through that process align on it. So again, I think it's best not to discuss all that today and not to bias the process. So we're going to have, like I said, a very wide and deep search, and there'll be people across all varying backgrounds and experiences, and through that we'll pick the right leader.
I know you haven't met with everybody yet, but how much feedback from the players about Craig kind of weigh into the decision?
Yeah, we did not solicit feedback from the players and the coaching staff at all. The only things I heard about Craig were they re-emphasized just the type of person he is, and how much they enjoyed being around him. As I know, that's been his credibility as a player and as a coach now. So that didn't weigh in at all.
When you met with Craig, John, did Craig express an interest in returning next year, or was this sort of a collective decision that you both arrived at?
I think Craig, his heart's in it. That's the kind of guy he is, and I think he felt like he had some unfinished business, and I think he's got a lot of great connections with the players here. And it was only the discussion was about the path ahead.
If you have Austin and William going forward, would you not agree, though, John, that it has to be more of an up-tempo play system that leaves those two players in the lineup than it was?
It's tough for me to gauge from the outside. I'd say I think Craig's opinion, and I agree with them, was he tried a lot of different things. Yeah. And, I think it's, again, more about how we want to play as an organization and the types of things we want to value. And I think, having, the roster fit the coach at the right time in the right way is always an important aspect of it. But I don't think that was the deciding factor of this decision.
Ideally, when would you like to have a new coach in place?
No timeline. I mean, certainly, there's key milestones that are coming up, and so certainly, running an efficient process matters. But like I said, we're going to take our time and do a very wide search and talk to a lot of people, and ultimately, how that goes, and the quality of the candidates that we come at the time we do will dictate a lot of that.
Is NHL experience an important facet of your search, or would you be open to hiring a first-time coach?
So yeah, I think we're going to start very wide and talk to as many people as we can with the varying backgrounds. As a general point, I think certainly experience in the NHL in larger markets could be an asset and will be weighed, but I wouldn't discount anything at this time.
You will have a number one pick and some other young guys coming in. How much is that going to factor into your decision as well?
Again, I don't think it's going to factor in any differently if we didn't have, the number one pick, in the sense of I think it's important to have the right, environment and the right setup for, players to come in and be their best. And certainly we'll value that and evaluate that as we talk to the different candidates. But I don't think the lottery, as an example, would influence how we think about the right candidate.
When you get a chance to sit down with Austin, what do you want to get out of that meeting?
Similar to all the players, honestly. I know Austin's the captain and, prolific goal scorer, and there's much attention on that for that reason. I understand that. From my perspective, as I said in my press conference, and it wasn't just a line, like I view the players as our partners. And I think we've had really great discussions to date. I think, sitting in there with Matt's, obviously, with his background and perspective, sharing notes and experiences and both sides learning from each other. That's kind of how we view that. And again, I think, Austin's a accomplished player that is world class, and I think he wants to align on the vision and the strategy ahead, as do we. And so I don't think there's any type of competing interests. I think it's about getting on the same page.
I know you say there's no specific timeline about a new hire, but do you see the benefit in having someone in place and sort of a bit familiar before you get to the draft and you're making those decisions?
Yeah, in a perfect world, obviously all those things align. I just, again, wouldn't eliminate the possibility it goes longer. But as you said, I think there's a natural cadence to making a hire, entering into, free agency and the draft, et cetera. So.
You mentioned it was kind of like jumping on a moving train. Like what has the last week, I guess, been like for you and Matt?
Yeah, it's been great, honestly. Matt's, we've been together the whole time, and again, his experience, he's pretty comfortable in these confines, and he knows his way around well, and so it's been, super special for me. And as we just learned about the organization, there's a ton of really great people here. I think how this has been designed has been amazing, and getting to meet all the staff and understanding what they do day to day was just a learning experience, and it's been really good.
How big is it to have the Marlies playing right now in another playoff round and to have guys at the World Championships?
Yeah, I think it's great. Anytime you get people playing in the summer is a good thing, especially, the Marlies. I think that learning experience in the playoffs really matters. And if you look back historically, when we have gone deeper, we've produced more prospects. And so I do think there's an element of that flywheel there where the more they play and the higher leverage situations they get in, the better they perform and the more they learn. So, yeah, really proud of that group and, Ryan Hardy and John Gruden and everything they've done there. And, there's some good players, and I look forward to watching them.
Are the plans to meet with Austin any more solidified now, John?
Not more solidified. We've had conversations. I think, again, it was important for me to get, a good lay of the land in terms of our internal workings and what we had in place here. And that way we could have like a really informed discussion. And, I wanted to make sure that we had, again, all the knowledge we could possibly have. So when we sit down, we can have the best discussion.
Have you made any other changes to your front office?
No. Not at this time. I mean, Shane Doan, we had a good discussion. He's going to run out his contract. But other than that, nothing's decided right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, John.